Granada is a Nicaraguan city on the shore of Lake Nicaragua and the oldest colonial city in the Central American region. The city was founded in 1524 by Francisco Hernández de Córdoba, who named it after his native Spanish city of Granada. During Spanish colonial rule, a rivalry existed between Granada and the Nicaraguan city of León. In 1610, the eruption of the Mamatambo volcano destroyed León, giving Granada a dominant position. The city was a hub of active trade with towns in the Caribbean. Ships from the Caribbean would arrive via the San Juan River and Lake Nicaragua. Granada was attacked several times by pirates operating on the lake. It is home to several Spanish colonial landmarks that survived repeated pirate invasions. The city's main square, Central Park, is dominated by the colorful neoclassical facade of the cathedral built in 1583. The convent is known for its collection of pre-Columbian statues.
There are no trains in Nicaragua. In the past, there was a network of narrow-gauge state railways, 1,067 mm, and private standard-gauge lines that were not connected to the state railway network. A few railway stations and short sections of track that were not stolen are the remnants of the former railway system that have survived to this day.
Le canto a mi gran sultana con el alma y corazón, a su lago Cocibolca y a sus isletas llenas de amor, su arquitectura neoclásica de belleza colonial, se parece a un paraíso lleno de luces celestial. Qué bello es mi Dios que nos regaló este lugarcito repleto de amor. Es mi gran sultana, bella, hermosa y soberana, que en mi Nicaragua no existe otra igual, que en mi Nicaragua no existe otra igual.
The most famous railway remnant in Nicaragua is the Granada Station, one of the city's biggest tourist attractions. Construction of the station began in 1882, and 4 years later, on March 1, 1886, the first train arrived at the station. The building was constructed in a neoclassical style, and experts will notice the influence of English and French architecture. In 1912, the station was occupied by American troops and rebuilt. In 1993, the last train departed from Granada to Managua. 2 years later, a vocational school was moved into the station building. In 1997, the station was restored. For tourists, a waiting room was made available, and in front of the station, there is an old steam locomotive, several cars, and a freight cart on a railway turntable.
Usted disfruta de un vigorón, de un bello paseo en coche, con la alegría de mi canción, contemplando el panorama de esta belleza colonial. Ven, disfruta ya de este hermoso sol, clima tropical, de este rinconcito hermoso y bonito, mi gran ciudad. Ven y goza en paz noche y día en tu bella Granada. Ven, disfruta con alegría este lindo lugar. Aquí todo es paz y armonía en tu bella sultana. Este pedacito de cielo es muy tuyo nomás.
About 500 meters from the old train station in Granada is the small church of San Juan Bosco, consecrated in 1952. Today is Sunday, so the church was open for worshippers.
Usted disfruta de un vigorón, de un bello paseo en coche, con la alegría de mi canción, contemplando el panorama de esta belleza colonial. Ven, disfruta ya de este hermoso sol, clima tropical, de este rinconcito hermoso y bonito, mi gran ciudad. Ven y goza en paz noche y día en tu bella Granada. Ven, disfruta con alegría este lindo lugar. Aquí todo es paz y armonía en tu bella sultana. Este pedacito de cielo es muy tuyo nomás.
This is yet another example of what you can experience on a Sunday morning in Granada. It's one of those little streets in Granada where you usually walk past a house with its doors shut most of the time, barely noticing it. Then suddenly, at a certain time, the doors open and music draws you inside.
Poder estar en tu presencia, contemplar la hermosura. Amén. Con una sonrisa, vamos a cantar una nueva canción y vamos a hacer.
El año que se fundó. Este es mi bello tesoro, un regalito de nuestro Dios. El mundo entero te admira por tu estilo colonial, por tu pueblo solidario, por tu belleza tropical. Qué bello es mi Dios que nos regaló este lugarcito repleto de amor. Es mi gran sultana, bella, hermosa y soberana, que en mi Nicaragua no existe otra igual, que en mi Nicaragua no existe otra igual.
The Cathedral of the Assumption of the Virgin Mary in Granada is a neoclassical Catholic cathedral and the main church of the Diocese of Granada. The first chapel at this site was built as early as 1525 using brick, lime, and straw. However, by 1578 it had already burned down twice. 7 years later, the church was rebuilt. The locals liked it so much that they began calling it La Iglesia Bonita, which means, the beautiful church. In 1751, the so-called second church was completed, made from lime, stone, and bricks.
Amen. Thank you.
Although Nicaragua is officially a presidential republic, it has undergone significant changes since 2006 under the presidency of Daniel Ortega. This led to major protests in 2018, which were violently suppressed. After the 2021 elections, Nicaragua became an authoritarian dictatorship. It is now a developing country, which has the second lowest GDP per capita among Latin American and Caribbean countries. In 2024, Nicaragua was ranked by the Corruption Perceptions Index as the second most corrupt country in Latin America, right after Venezuela.
Usted disfruta de un vigorón, de un bello paseo en coche, con la alegría de mi canción, contemplando el panorama de esta belleza colonial. Ven, disfruta ya de este hermoso sol, clima tropical, de este rinconcito hermoso y bonito, mi gran ciudad. Ven y goza en paz noche y día en tu bella Granada. Ven, disfruta con alegría este lindo lugar. Aquí todo es paz y armonía en tu bella Sultana. Este pedacito de cielo es muy tuyo nomás.